Assalamualaikum everyone, welcome to MVC tutorial channel. This is part 11 of Iterative Management System playlist using SP.NET MVC with AngularJS. Before we start this video, please watch previous videos of this series, and in the previous video I have shown how to edit and delete data using SP.NET MVC with AngularJS, and in this part I am going to show you how to insert codes, TBL codes, data, and update and delete data. So let's get started. For insert the data of the TBL codes, we need a text box and two drop down list. So I'm going to Visual Studio and stop the debugging. I'm going to create Solution Explorer, and in this controllers table I'm going to create add new item, add controller MVC5 controller empty, and click add button, and I'm going to give this name course controller and click add button. Okay, we have successfully created our controller, and here I'm going to change this method name course list view, and I'm going to copy this method and paste it here and name course entry. Okay, and in the course list view I'm going to add view and empty without model and checkbox use a layout page and click add button. Okay, we have successfully created our course list view, and we need also this page create. So course entry, add view, okay, and click add button. Okay, we have successfully created entry and list view. Now I'm going to copy some HTML code for section entry. So just copy all the codes from section entry page and paste it here. Okay, and we need to change the link. So I'm going to controller, go to controller, and this is our controller name codes, and I'm going to paste it here, and we need also this one. Okay, and paste it here. Okay, and we need here another drop down list for section. Okay, I'm going to set a name section. Okay, we use here cascading drop down list. When we select batch, then automatic will filter the section name. Okay, and we need here, okay, I'm going to database now, this is our DB student management system. So I am going to this TBL course and edit all rows. Okay, we need course name, batch ID and section ID. So I'm going to add this batch ID. Okay, and now we need section ID, okay, and we need a text box for course name. Just copy course name and paste it here. Okay, and I'm going to just remove this initial from here. Okay, and just comment it. Okay, and run this project. Okay, first of all we need to load this batch items from database. When I click this batch 1, then section will automatic change or automatic loaded. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, I'm just stop the debugging, and in this controller, I'm going to controller, we need to load this batch name. So in the batch, in the section controller, okay, go to controller. In this section controller, we just loaded batch. So I'm just going to copy and paste it here. Okay, and okay, now we need course control, course dal. So just I'm going to create a class. This is in this dal folder. I'm going to create add class course dal. Okay, and now I'm going to just copy this, just go to the section dal and copy this batch DLL load data, just copy and paste it here. Okay, and we also need connection string. So just copy this connection string and paste it here. Okay, and we need to link up this adal, so from course dal. Okay, just here course dal, just copy this name. Okay, adal equal new. Okay, we need to call it here. Okay, course Okay, now we need to create, for load this DLL load batch, we need to create controller JS. So I'm going to here Angular controller. In this Angular controller folder, I'm going to add JavaScript file, and I'm going to give name course controller JS. Okay, and click OK button. Okay, now I'm going to copy from section controller JS. Okay, this line, these two lines. Okay, just copy it and paste it here, and also this one. Okay, now we need to call this DLL load batch. So we just created in the previous video how to load drop down list. Okay, this one, just copy it and paste it here, and we need to change the URL. So I'm going to this controller, we need this controller name and paste it here, and this load. Okay, just paste it here. Okay, and we need to call this is scope.batch. So in the course entry page, we just use this batch and this batch. Okay, for here. Now when I click, okay, if I run this project, and we also need to change here this URL. So just remove from here and stop the debugging, and this one just drag and drop here. Okay, and run this project. Okay, it has loaded, and we need to add the button name. So from the section controller JS, we need to copy this line for button name. Okay, and reload this page. Okay, you can see here save button has shown. Okay, and when I click the batch name, then section name will load it. Okay, so I'm going to course controller, and sorry, in this course controller we need to create a JSON method for load section. So just copy this one and paste it here, and we need to change the name load section by batch ID. Okay, and we need this batch id, integer batch id, we need to use this parameter. Okay, and now we need to, and in this batch id we need to call it here, and I'm going to controller, sorry, this dal, and just copy this method name and paste it here, and I'm going to give section by batch id dll load dal. Okay, and we need to, this parameter we need to call. Okay, and this method name we need to call it here. Okay, and now we need to change the DAO, so we need to create another DAO data object, add class course DAO. Okay, and click add button. Okay, now we need here this course id public int get set. Okay, and just copy this course name, paste it here, it will be string. Okay, and now we need batch id and section id. Okay, just remove it. Okay, and in the course controller we need to add the DAO for section DAO. Okay, and paste it here, also here, and we need to change the name section id section name, just paste it here also, and also for here. Okay, sorry, and just go to this course dal, we need to create, we need to add a parameter for this batch parameter. Okay, so I'm going to section dal, we need to call this parameter add with value. Okay, and just paste it here, and call the batch id, also here batch id. Now we need to create store procedure, so I'm going to SQL Server programmability store procedure. Okay, we need to modify and create new for load section data. So I'm going to change the store procedure name section by batch id. Okay, and create. Okay, and we need this section name table, paste it here, and write here section id and section name. Okay, and order by we need section name. Okay, and we need use here where condition and we need here a parameter for this batch ID. Okay, so we need to check how to parameter use in SQL Server. Okay, this one, just copy from here and paste it here. Okay, we need just this section, sorry, we need this batch ID. Okay, equal batch, we need to remove that. Okay, and execute this query. Okay, we have successfully created our stored procedure. Just copy this stored procedure name and paste it here. Okay, and this batch ID, and make sure this batch ID and this batch ID same. Okay, okay, and I'm going to controller. Okay, we used this, and we need to call this DLL load section by batch ID when I click this batch name drop down list. Okay, or select this drop down list. Okay, so I am going to controller course controller JS, and here I'm going to create a new function for load section. So dollar scope dot load section by batch ID. Okay, equal function okay, we need to call this batch ID here. Okay, and now we need to call, just copy this function and paste it here. Okay, now we need to call this method, JSON method, and paste it here, and we need to use here question mark, and this batch ID means this batch ID equal plus this batch ID. Okay, and then function D, okay, we need to call it section. Okay, okay, now this section name we need to use our course entry page, this section, and we need e dot section ID, and we need to call this from the section table, this section name. Okay, 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 and we need to call this function. Okay, so I'm going to course entry page, and here we need to call ng change, and we need to call this function here, and we need to set a parameter, this batch id. Okay, just copy and paste it here. Okay, and I'm going to run this project. Okay, when I click, and I'm going to give a breakpoint here, and when I click batch 1, okay, it got batch 9, and click F10 and go to click F12, F11. Okay, okay, if I data set, then we can see no data. Okay, section 1 data has loaded. Okay, you can see here we have successfully done our cascading drop down list using AngularJS. Okay, that's all for today. In the next part of this series, I'm gonna show you guys how to save this data with text box and drop down list in the database. That's all for today. See you in the next part of the series. Thank you so much for watching this video. Have a great day.